Hey learners, welcome back to e-learning platform of GS College of Commerce, Verda. I, Professor Rajeshwari Sharma, welcome you all. This lecture is for the BCom first semester English medium for the subject Business Economics. So, as far as the subject is concerned, under this we have completed our 2 units. Today we are going to start with our 3rd unit, that is Theories of Production. So, under this unit we are going to learn the production function, law of variable proportion, law of returns to scale, and the economies and the diseconomies of scale. So, under this unit today we are going to start with our first topic, that is production function. So, in today's lecture we will see the meaning and the concept of production function, its assumption and some other basic concepts which is used in production function. So, let's begin. So, before understanding the meaning of term production function, first we need to understand what is production. So, what is basically the production is? See, production is a process whereby some inputs are used, they are processed, and then after making a process on it, after using some factors of production for making process on it, the resultant that we get is known as output or production. So production is a process whereby inputs are converted into the outputs by making some process on it by using some factors of production. We will understand this with the help of an example. Say you have a piece of wood. Okay. Now you have called up a carpenter and you just with the help of that carpenter you have made some processes on that piece of wood and you have converted that piece of wood into the table. So now here that piece of wood has been converted into the furniture. So furniture is a product. Okay. So what is basically the production? Production is a process whereby inputs are converted into outputs, final outputs or finished goods by using some processes on it by using some factors of production. So I hope now you are clear with the meaning of production. Now we will move towards the meaning of production function. So what is basically the production function? Production function expresses the relationship between the physical input and physical output. Physical input and physical output. Now what is meant by physical input and physical output? So physical input means how much units you are putting as a input and how much unit you are getting as an output is known as physical input and physical output. For example, if we are producing the samosas and I have put additional 5 kgs of potatoes, so how much additional samosa I would be getting after putting this potato in production process would be known as physical input and physical output. So what is basically the production function? Production function is a relationship between physical input and the physical output. Okay. Then it also studies the relationship between investment and production. So production function is a function which also studies the relationship between the investment and the production. Now how? Because what is basically the investment? Investment is your cost that you have put for buying the inputs, right? So that means you are studying the physical inputs if you are studying the investment. And what is production? So production is your output that you have got after processing the particular input. So therefore it can also be said that production function is a relationship between investment and production, as inputs are investment because the cost you have incurred for buying the inputs is your investment, right? Like the cost that you have incurred for buying the raw material, the cost that you have incurred for paying wages to the laborers, that is your input. Okay. And when we talk about the output, so output means the resultant product that you are getting after incurring cost on those inputs. So therefore production function can also be said as a relationship between the investment and production. Now from this definition we will see what is basically the production function. Okay. What is the interpretation of production function? So production function is the relationship between physical input and physical output. Now we will understand this with the help of an example. Again, we will take the example of samosa. See, if I tell you that I will give you 5 kgs of potato, I will give you 2 liters of oil and some spices and 2 laborers. So with the help of this input, how much samosa you can give me, how much maximum output you can give me. So this relationship expresses the relationship between the input and output. Like I am giving you input in form of potatoes, then laborers which are required for making samosas, then spices, oil, etc. Those are the inputs. And now I am asking you how much samosa you can make with this given input. So this samosa is going to be my output. So production function is expressing the relationship between the physical input and maximum output. Now, if suppose I say I want you to give me 500 samosa. So for producing this samosa, how much input you are going to need? If I am asking you this question, so again I am asking you for producing 500 samosa, how much inputs, like how much potatoes, how many laborers, how much liters of oil you will need. So again, this is the example of production function, because again here the relationship between the physical input and physical output is being expressed. So with the help of this, we can understand that production function is a functional or the technological relationship between the physical input and the physical output. Okay, so I hope now the meaning of production function is clear to you. Now we will see how the production function is expressed algebraically. So it is expressed like Q is equals to F ABCN. So where Q refers to the output. Output here we will consider it as samosa. F refers to the relationship between the two variables. So F is the functional relationship, and this ABC is like if we are taking the example of samosa. So this ABC are potatoes, oil, labors, etc., which are required for producing samosas. Okay, so what is basically the production function refers? It refers the relationship between the physical input and physical output. Now here in production function, input is independent variable, and output is dependent variable. How big is dependent variable? Now how input is independent variable and output is dependent variable? Because the quantity of output that we are going to get depends on the quantity of input. More will be the input, more will be the output. Less will be the input, less will be the output. So if we are going to change the input, so output will automatically get changed. Therefore, input is independent variable in the production function and output is dependent variable in the production function. So I hope you have understood how this production function can be algebraically expressed. Now we will see some basic assumptions which are underlying the production function. So first assumption over here is it refers to constant state of technology. Means this assumption says that under the production function, constant state of technology is assumed. It means that we assume that we are having the same technology throughout the production process. We are not making any change in the technology throughout the production process. If there is going to be any change in the technology, so production will also get changed during a particular period of time. For example, we are making samosa, and for for peeling of the potatoes or for grinding the spices, we are using manual methods. Okay, we are not using the mixer grinder, or we are not using any machines for peeling up the potatoes. So we will assume that throughout the production process we are doing this work with the manual process and not machines. Because if we are going to change the state of technology, if we are going to use machine instead of that manual process, so production will we will get more production because the speed will increase. So therefore, under production function, it is assumed that throughout the production process the state of technology that we are using is constant. The next assumption over here is it relates to specific period of time. So when we say specific periods of time, so it refers to a day, week, month, year, etc. So production function relates to a specific time period. It may be related to a day, it may be related to week, it may be related to month. For example, we say that we produce 500 samosas a day. So for producing this 500 samosa, we need different factors of production like potato, labors, spices, oil, etc. So for producing 500 samosa a day, we need different factors of production in a day. Okay, so therefore it refers to a specific period of time. So production function relates to a specific period of time. Now third is firm uses most efficient method of production. So under the production function, we assume that whatever method of production that is being used by firm, whether it is the labor intensive or it is the capital intensive, it is the most efficient method of production. Means we will assume that whatever method of production is being used by firm, that is going to give the maximum output. Okay, under the production function we are going to assume that. The next one is factors of production are perfectly homogeneous. So under the production function, we will assume that whatever factors of production are being used in the production process will be perfectly homogeneous, which means that if we have 5 workers who are making samosas in our hotel, so we will consider that all those 5 laborers are equally skilled. The speed of working of all those laborers are same. Means there is no difference in the skill set or the speed of those laborers. So we will under the production function, we will assume that all factors of production are perfectly homogeneous. Okay. So these are some assumptions which are underlying in the production function. Now we will understand some basic concept which we need to understand for studying the production function further. So as we say, the production function states the relationship between the physical input and the physical output. So these inputs are the different factors of production, and now these factors of production are of 2 types, that is fixed factor of production and the variable factor of production. So what is basically the fixed factor of production? Fixed factors of productions are those factors of productions which do not change with the change in output in short run. Means these are the factors of production which do not change with the change in output in short run. Like we have taken the examples of making samosa. So for making samosa, we need a place. So we need a shop. Okay. So either you are making 50 samosas, or you are making 500 samosas, or you are making 1000 samosas. You will use the same shop. Okay, you will use the same shop or same space. Okay, you won't, the shop or the space that you were using for making samosas would not change with change in your output. Okay, so whatever rent you are paying for the shop is going to be your cost of fixed factor. Okay, so what is the fixed factor of production? Fixed factor of production are those factors of production which do not change with the change in output in short run. Now what are the variable factors of production? So variable factors of productions are those factors of production which changes with change in output. Like if you are making 50 samosas, so even one labor can do that. If you are making 100 samosa, so you would require 2 or 3 laborers. If you need to make 500 samosas, so you would require 4, 5 or 6 laborers. So this way, if your output is increasing, so you need to increase your input as well. Like for making 50 samosa, you would require less quantity of potatoes, oil and the spices. But if your output is increasing, means the number of samosas that you are making would increase, then the input that you will require will also increase. Like then you will need more quantity of potatoes, more quantity of oil, more numbers of laborers, etc. So variable factors are those factors of production which changes with the change in output. I hope the different types of factors of production, that is fixed factors of production and the variable factors of production, are clear to you. Now when we talk about the production function, so it is of two types, that is short run production function and the long run production function. But this differentiation of short run and long run is not done on the basis of time period. Because if you take the example of a farmer, so 1 year can also be a long period of time for that farmer. But if you take the example of a steel industry, so the period of 10 years may not be the long period of time for that steel industry. So therefore this differentiation of short run and long run is not made on the basis of time. So now the question arises, on what basis this differentiation of short run and long run is made? So it is made on the basis of the extent to which a firm can vary the amount of input in a production process. So the differentiation of the short run and long run is made on the basis of the degree to which a firm can vary its factor of production in production process. Okay, amount of input in production process. For example, we on daily basis produce 500 to 1000 samosa in our factory. Now immediately, very suddenly on one day, I tell you that today you have to produce 5,000 samosas for me. So would it be possible for you to produce 5,000 samosas for me within a day? If the capacity of your whatever space you are using is only for producing 500 to 1000 samosas, it won't be. You will ask me, ma'am, how it's going to be possible to produce the 5,000 samosas in such a small space. So here we are talking about the increasing the amount of input in production process. Because you would say that, madam, it's not going to be possible to produce 5,000 samosa in such a small space. And then what I'm going to tell you, as we have one day, so I cannot give you a new building overnight. I cannot make arrangement for a new shop overnight. So when we are talking about the shop or the space, so it is a fixed factor which cannot be varied, or which cannot be increased in short period of time. Okay, so short run, therefore it can be understood that short run is a period whereby minimum one input remains unchanged. Like here in given example, shop or the space that we have is the fixed factor. Okay, shop or the space that we have is a fixed factor that we cannot change, that we cannot increase within a span of one day, within a span of overnight. So short run is a period in which all the factors of production cannot be variable. It is a period in which at least one factor of production, one input remains unchanged. Okay. Now we will come to the concept of long run. So what is basically the long run? Long run is a period in which all factors of productions are variable. Like if I tell you, at present we are producing 500 to 1000 samosas on daily basis, but after 1 month we have to produce 5000 samosas per day on daily basis. So what you are going to say? Yes, we can produce. Why? Because within a span of 1 month we can make arrangement for the new space, we can make arrangement for the new building, we can make arrangement for the new shop, we can make arrangement for the more capital. So therefore we can increase our production as well. So when we talk about the long run, so long run is a time period whereby all factors of production are variable. No factor of production remains constant in long run. So the production function that we study in short run is known as law of variable proportion, that we are going to study in our syllabus further, and the production function that we are going to study in long run is known as law of returns to scale, that we are going to deal with in our further syllabus. So I hope you are clear with the concept of short run and the long run as well. So in today's lecture we have seen the meaning and the concept of production function, then we have seen the various assumptions underlying production function, then we have seen the bifurcation of factors of production in fixed and the variable, and then we have understood the concept of short run and the long run in production function. So in our next lecture we are going to deal with the Cobb-Douglas production function. Till then, keep watching the videos, keep studying, because your exam may be announced anytime soon. So be in touch, stay tuned. Thank you.